What if I told you that the person running Las Vegas just admitted what locals have known for years?
A lot of the resorts, and I understand these are business decisions that the mayor, can't second guess, but I think they're, it's becoming less affordable to come to Las Vegas and have a good time.
The city once built on giving everyone a fair shot has been gutted by corporate greed, sky-high prices, vanishing jobs, and a strip designed to squeeze every last dollar from visitors and residents alike. It's not conspiracy, it's policy.
When I was growing up, Las Vegas was a great value. I mean, you could have a 49-cent breakfast at any of the hotels and 99-cent shrimp cocktail. Rooms were cheap, food was cheap. Just come, have a good time, gamble. And that's how we started our successful climb to the top. A lot of the resorts, and I understand these are business decisions that the mayor, can't second guess, but I think they're, it's becoming...
So if the mayor's words struck a nerve, wait until you see the numbers behind the greed. 8 brutal examples, each worse than the last. Number 8. Hotel rooms became luxury items overnight. Let's talk about the most visible symptom of corporate greed: hotel prices that have completely disconnected from reality. In 2012, you could book a decent room on the Strip for $50 to $80 a night. Today, that same room costs $200 to $300, and that's before the resort fees hit. The excuse? Inflation. The reality? Pure greed. Here's the math. Between 2019 and 2024, hotel rates on the Strip jumped 24%. But here's the part that makes no sense. Occupancy rates dropped from 95% in 2019 to just 85% today. Think about that. Fewer people are staying in Vegas, yet prices keep climbing. Basic economics says when demand falls, prices should follow. But in corporate Vegas, the opposite happens. Why? Because companies like MGM Resorts and Caesars Entertainment realized they could charge more from fewer guests and still increase revenue. It's more profitable to fill 85% of rooms at $250 a night than 95% of rooms at $150. The math works for shareholders. For families trying to plan a vacation, it's a disaster. Then come the resort fees. These charges, once a controversial $15 to $20 add-on, have ballooned to $45 to $55 per night at most Strip properties. They're tacked on after you book, buried in the fine print, and they cover things that used to be included for free: Wi-Fi, gym access, pool use. All of it now comes with a price tag. And it's not just the big resorts. Even off-Strip properties have adopted the same playbook. Budget motels that once catered to working-class travelers now charge $120 a night plus fees. The result? Las Vegas has priced out the very people who built its reputation: the everyday tourist looking for an affordable escape. Social media is flooded with complaints. One viral TikTok showed a family's hotel bill ballooning from $400 to nearly $700 after fees, taxes, and parking. The comment section erupted. Vegas used to be for everyone, now it's just for the rich. Another user wrote, "I can go to Hawaii for the same price. At least there I get a real vacation." The corporate response? Silence, or worse, spin. Executives talk about providing premium experiences while quietly gutting the affordable options that made Vegas accessible in the first place. But if hotel gouging feels personal, just wait, because the next assault comes from the very games that built this city, and it's even more insulting. Number 7. The casino floor became a rigged game. Las Vegas was built on a promise. Come here, take your shot, and maybe, just maybe, you'll hit it big. The house always had an edge, but it was fair. You knew the odds, and if you played smart, you could stretch your bankroll and have a good time. That promise is dead. Corporate greed didn't just raise prices, it rigged the games themselves. Start with blackjack, the cornerstone of casino gambling. For decades, the standard payout was 3 to 2. Hit blackjack, bet $10, win 15s. Simple, fair, and it kept players coming back. But over the last 5 years, casinos have quietly swapped those tables for 6 to 5 blackjack, same game, worse payout. Now that $10 bet only wins you $12. The house edge nearly triples. Walk onto the Strip today and try to find a $5 blackjack table with 3 to 2 payouts. You won't. Those tables have been banished to high-limit rooms with $100 minimums, effectively locking out casual players. What's left on the main floor? 6 to 5 tables with 25 minimums. It's a double gut punch, worse odds, and higher stakes. Roulette got the same treatment. The American double zero wheel was already worse than the European single zero standing alive. Strip that away, and you're just feeding money into a glorified ATM There's no skill, no conversation, no fun, just extraction. Dealers, many of whom spent decades mastering their craft, are being laid off in waves. One longtime blackjack dealer told a local news station, "I gave 30 years to this city. Now I'm being replaced by a screen." Another said, "They don't care about us. They don't care about the guests. They only care about the bottom line." And here's the cruel irony. Casinos are making more money than ever, but the experience has never been worse. Revenue is up, but foot traffic is down. The tourists who do come leave angry, vowing never to return. Corporate greed didn't just change the games, it killed the magic. But if you think the casino floor is bad, wait until you hear what's happening to the people who actually run this city. Because the human cost of corporate greed goes far deeper than bad odds and high prices. Number 6, workers became expendable. Las Vegas doesn't run on neon and dice. It runs on people: housekeepers, servers, bellhops, dealers, cooks. For decades, these jobs provided middle-class stability, benefits, union protections, and the pride of being part of something bigger. But corporate greed has gutted that foundation, turning workers into disposable assets. The layoffs started quietly. Caesars Entertainment merged job roles at its buffets, forcing servers to also bus tables. The move was sold as efficiency, but the real goal was cutting payroll. Older workers, many with decades of experience, couldn't keep up with the physical demands. They quit or were pushed out. The result? Guests now pay $80 for a buffet where one overworked employee juggles everything. That's not service. That's chaos. MGM Resorts took it further. Bell desks at properties like Excalibur were eliminated entirely. Guests arriving with luggage now fend for themselves. Concierge departments were slashed, replaced with chatbots and kiosks. Unless you're a high roller, human help is a luxury you can't afford. Resorts World and Fontainebleau followed the same script. When Fontainebleau laid off dealers, security guards escorted them out like criminals. The optics were brutal and the message was clear: you are replaceable. The numbers back it up. Since 2020, Las Vegas has cut over 15,000 hospitality jobs that haven't returned. Automation, self-check-in, kiosks, and skeleton crews have become the norm. For corporations, it's a win. Labor costs drop while room rates climb. For workers, it's devastation. One housekeeper at a strip property told reporters she now cleans 18 rooms a day, up from 12 just 5 years ago. Her pay hasn't increased, but her workload has. She's exhausted, underpaid, and one injury away from losing everything. Stories like hers are everywhere. And it's not just workers who suffer. Guests feel it too. Long waits at check-in, dirty rooms, understaffed restaurants, and front desks that feel more like government offices than hospitality hubs. When you pay $300 a night plus fees and still have to carry your own bags, something is fundamentally broken. The irony is painful. Las Vegas marketed itself as a city where anyone could make it, servers could buy homes, dealers could raise families, and cooks could retire with dignity. That dream is gone. Corporate greed didn't just cut jobs, it gutted the soul of the city's working class. But while workers struggle, there's another group taking the hardest hit. Because when jobs disappear and costs skyrocket, the results aren't just economic, they're human. Number 5, homelessness exploded while profits soared. Walk a few blocks off the strip, away from the lights and tourists, and you'll see the real cost of corporate greed. Tents lining underpasses, encampments near vacant lots, families with nowhere to go. Las Vegas now has one of the highest per capita homeless populations in the United States, with over 6,500 people living on the streets. This isn't a coincidence. It's a direct consequence of the policies that prioritized profit over people. Here's how it happened. As casino corporations slashed jobs and raised prices, the economic foundation of Las Vegas crumbled for working-class residents. A server laid off from a buffet can't find equivalent work. A dealer replaced by a machine loses their income overnight. And when rents have climbed to $2,000 for a basic 2-bedroom apartment, losing a job means losing everything. Former hospitality workers make up a growing share of the homeless population. These aren't people who chose this life. Like, they're victims of a system that treated them as expendable. One man interviewed by a local news station said he worked at the Mirage for 15 years. When the property announced its closure and transformation, he lost his job. Within 6 months, he lost his apartment. Now he lives in a tent near the Arts District. The city's response has been woefully inadequate. Resources for shelters, mental health services, and job retraining programs haven't kept pace with the crisis. Meanwhile, the corporations raking in record profits have contributed almost nothing to solving the problem they helped create. And here's the cruelest part. While homelessness surges, casino executives are posting record bonuses. MGM Resorts reported over $1.8 billion in profit in 2023. Caesars Entertainment wasn't far behind. That money didn't trickle down to workers or communities. It went to shareholders and C-suite executives. For tourists, the contrast is jarring. You pay $20 for a watered-down cocktail inside Caesar's Palace, then step outside and see someone begging for change on the same block. That's not the Vegas experience anyone signed up for. It's a dystopian nightmare dressed in neon. Locals are furious. One commenter on a viral post wrote, "They're making billions while people sleep on the streets. This city has lost its soul." Another said, "I grew up here. Vegas used to take care of its own. Now it just throws people away." The mayor acknowledged the crisis in her interview, calling it a moral failing. But acknowledgement without action rings hollow. Until corporate profits are redirected towards solutions, the problem will only get worse. But if homelessness reveals the human cost of greed, the next attack came for the very businesses that gave Vegas its character, and they never stood a chance. Number 4, local businesses were crushed by corporate monopolies. There was a time when Las Vegas had character beyond the Strip. Local diners where regulars knew your name, family-owned bars with cheap drinks and live music, independent shops that gave neighborhoods their flavor. These weren't just businesses. They were the heartbeat of the community. Corporate greed didn't just ignore them, it systematically destroyed them. The death blow came through real estate. As casino corporations expanded their footprints, property values skyrocketed. Small business owners who'd operated for decades suddenly faced rent increases of 40%, 60%, even 100%. Landlords knew corporate chains could afford it, so they priced out everyone else. One by one, the local spots closed. The Arts District, once a haven for independent galleries, cafes, and vintage shops, is now dominated by corporate-backed developments. Fremont Street, which had been revitalized by local entrepreneurs in the early 2000s, is being swallowed by corporate entertainment complexes. Even off-strip areas like Chinatown are feeling the squeeze as chains move in and mom-and-pop restaurants shut down. Take the iconic Huntridge Tavern, a local dive bar that served the community for over 70 years. It closed in 2020, not because of the pandemic, but because rising costs made it impossible to compete. The building sat empty while developers circled, waiting to turn it into something more profitable. Stories like this are everywhere. And it's not just rent. Corporate casinos have created internal ecosystems designed to keep tourists on property. Why leave the resort when there's a Starbucks, a Shake Shack, and a CVS inside? Every dollar spent at a corporate franchise is a dollar that doesn't reach a local business. The casinos don't just compete with local shops, they strangle them. The impact on the community is devastating. Local businesses employed residents, supported neighborhood schools, and gave Vegas its distinct identity. When they disappear, so does the culture. What's left is a city that looks like every other corporate-dominated metro. Chain restaurants, big box stores, and zero personality. Residents are furious. One commenter on a local news story wrote, "I grew up going to these places. Now they're all gone, replaced by the same garbage you can find anywhere." Another said, "Vegas used to have soul. Now it's just a corporate theme park." The mayor acknowledged this issue in her interview, calling the displacement of local businesses one of the hidden costs of corporate expansion. But again, acknowledgement without action means nothing. Tax incentives and zoning laws continue to favor big corporations, while small businesses get crushed under the weight of rising costs and diminishing foot traffic. The saddest part, many of these local spots didn't fail because they weren't good enough. They failed because the system was rigged against them from the start. When corporate monopolies control the real estate, the customers, and the regulations, there's no room left for the little guy. Las Vegas used to celebrate the underdog. Now it buries them, and every time a local business closes, the city loses a piece of what made it special in the first place. But if you think shrinking nightlife is bad, wait until you see how corporations turned every single interaction into a cash grab. Number 3, nightlife became a billionaire's playground. Las Vegas nightlife used to be democratic. Sure, there were high-end clubs, but there were also dive bars, neighborhood lounges, and mid-tier spots where regular people could have a great night without dropping $500. That balance is gone. Today, nightlife in Vegas is controlled by a handful of corporate giants, and unless you're wealthy, you're not welcome. The consolidation started with companies like Hakkasan Group and TAO Group, which bought up the biggest nightclubs on the Strip. Hakkasan, Omnia, XS, Marquee. For tourists hoping to experience Vegas nightlife on a budget, the options have evaporated. Mid-tier clubs that once charged $20 covers and offered affordable drinks have either closed or been absorbed into corporate portfolios and repriced. Dive bars near the Strip have been demolished to make room for luxury developments. What's left is a nightlife scene that caters exclusively to the ultra-wealthy and celebrities. And it's not just clubs. Pool parties, once a casual daytime activity, have been turned into ticketed events with $75 to $150 entry fees. Daybeds cost $500. Cabanas start at $2,000. A single cocktail by the pool runs $20 to $30. The message is clear: if you're not rich, stay home. The worst part? The experience has gotten worse as the prices have climbed. Overcrowding is rampant. Security has become aggressive and unwelcoming. Service is slow because staff are stretched thin. The clubs prioritize high rollers and bottle buyers, while everyone else is packed into corners like cattle. You're not there to have fun, you're there to be monetized. Corporate ownership has also killed variety. Every major club now books the same rotation of EDM DJs. There's no room for local acts, live bands, or anything outside the formula that maximizes revenue. The creativity and spontaneity that once defined Vegas nightlife has been replaced by a paint-by-numbers approach to entertainment. Locals have been completely priced out. Neighborhoods that once had vibrant bar scenes are now deserts. The corporate clubs don't want locals unless they're spending like tourists. Promoter lists, once a way for residents to get discounted or free entry, have been gutted or eliminated entirely. The clubs make more money charging full price to out-of-towners who don't know any better. One longtime Vegas resident told a local reporter, "I used to go out 3 times a week. Now I can't afford to go out once a month. The city doesn't want us anymore." Another said, "Nightlife used to be for everyone. Now it's just for Instagram influencers and trust fund kids." The economic impact is staggering. When nightlife becomes inaccessible, fewer people go out. When fewer people go out, surrounding businesses suffer. Restaurants, late-night diners, and transportation services all take a hit. The entire ecosystem that supported Vegas nightlife is collapsing because corporate greed prioritized short-term profits over long-term sustainability. And here's the cruelest irony. These mega clubs are making record profits, but the city's reputation as a nightlife destination is cratering. Online reviews are filled with complaints about price gouging, poor service, and hostile atmospheres. Tourists who once planned trips around Vegas nightlife are now choosing Miami, Ibiza, or Tulum instead. Corporate takeover didn't elevate Vegas nightlife, it gutted it. The soul of the party is gone, replaced by velvet ropes, overpriced bottles, and a coldness that no amount of bass can hide. When the nightlife dies, a piece of Vegas dies with it. Number 2, hidden fees became the business model. If there's one thing that perfectly encapsulates corporate greed in Las Vegas, it's the explosion of hidden fees. Charges that used to be included are now monetized. Costs that were once transparent are now buried in fine print. It's a business model designed to deceive, and it's driving tourists away in droves. Start with resort fees. These charges, now standard across nearly every Strip property, range from $40 to $55 per night. They're advertised as covering Wi-Fi, gym access, and pool use. But here's the scam. Those amenities used to be free. The resort fee is pure profit, dressed up as a service charge. And it gets worse. The fee isn't included in the advertised room rate. You think you're booking a $150 room, but after resort fees, taxes, and other charges, you're paying $230. It's bait and switch, legalized through corporate lobbying. Parking is another cash grab. A decade ago, parking at Strip casinos was free. Now, self-parking costs $18 to $25 per day, and valet parking runs $30 to $40. For locals who used to visit the Strip casually, those fees are a deal breaker. For tourists, it's one more insult added to an already inflated bill. Even inside the properties, the nickel and diming is relentless. Want real silverware at an MGM buffet? That's $25. Need an early check-in? $50 to $75. A bottle of water from the minibar? $8. A Red Bull and vodka at a poolside bar, $20. Every interaction is an opportunity to extract more money. Food prices have become particularly obscene. A bagel and coffee at Fontainebleau, $30. A single meal at a food court inside a luxury resort, $25 to $50. A bottle of Diet Pepsi, $9. These prices go viral on social media, and every post chips away at Vegas's reputation. One viral TikTok showed a tourist's receipt from a Strip resort. After adding up room charges, resort fees, parking, and incidentals, a 3-night stay that was advertised at $450 cost over $100. The comments were brutal. Vegas is a scam. Never again. I'd rather go literally anywhere else. The worst part, the fees aren't even consistent. Different properties charge different amounts for the same services. There's no transparency, no standardization. It's deliberately confusing, designed to make it harder for consumers to compare prices or plan budgets. Corporate executives defend the fees as necessary to maintain quality, but the quality has objectively declined. Fewer workers, worse. Service and higher costs don't add up to a better experience. It's just greed, plain and simple. Tourists are voting with their wallets. Visitation to Las Vegas has stagnated. Repeat visitors are choosing other destinations. And online reviews are filled with warnings. Don't go to Vegas unless you're prepared to be nickel and dimed at every turn. But if hidden fees represent the day-to-day greed, the number one way corporate interests have destroyed Las Vegas goes even deeper. It's not just about money, it's about identity. Number one, the soul of Vegas was sold for shareholder value. Here's the truth the mayor hinted at but couldn't fully say. Las Vegas no longer belongs to the people who built it, live in it, or even visit it. It belongs to Wall Street. And when a city's identity is dictated by quarterly earnings reports and shareholder meetings, everything that made it special gets sacrificed. Let's go back to what Vegas used to be. Working class family from Ohio could take a vacation and feel like royalty, where a server could make a decent living and buy a house, where the games were fair, the shows were affordable, and the buffets were legendary. Vegas wasn't perfect, but it was accessible. It was built on the idea that everyone, no matter their income, deserved a shot at the dream. That version of Vegas is gone, and it didn't disappear by accident. It was dismantled, piece by piece, by corporations that prioritized profit over people. The consolidation started in the early 2000s. Independent casinos were bought out by massive conglomerates. MGM Resorts and Caesars Entertainment now control the majority of the Strip. These corporations answer to investors, not to guests or workers. Every decision is filtered through a single question. Does this increase shareholder value? The answer reshaped the city. Affordable rooms? Gone because luxury suites have higher margins. Fair blackjack tables? Eliminated because 6 to 5 payouts boost the bottom line. Human dealers? Replaced by machines to cut labor costs. Cheap buffets? Closed because $80 prix-fixe menus generate more revenue per square foot. Even the architecture reflects the shift. New properties like Resorts World and Fontainebleau are sleek, modern, and sterile. They're designed to look expensive, not welcoming. The quirky, neon-soaked charm of old Vegas has been replaced by glass towers that could exist in any city. There's no personality, no soul, just profit-maximizing design. The human cost is staggering. Workers have been laid off, priced out, and cast aside. Locals who built this city can no longer afford to live here. Homelessness has exploded while corporate profits hit record highs. And tourists, the lifeblood of Vegas, are walking away disgusted. The mayor's admission was a rare moment of honesty, but honesty without action is just noise. What Vegas needs is a complete rethinking of who the city serves. Should it exist for shareholders in New York and hedge funds in California, or should it serve the workers, the residents, and the visitors who made it great in the first place? Right now, the answer is clear. Corporate greed has won, and unless something changes, Las Vegas will continue its slow, painful transformation from a city of dreams into a cautionary tale of unchecked capitalism. The soul of Vegas was sold, and we're all paying the price.